Shout out to the thinking class. This is Lawrence D. Adams. This is when spirituality and the game combines. You have the thinking class. We are live today. Shout out to Chan. Shout out to Sigma Enigma. Shout out to all the brothers and people listening in the world out there. Let's get it going. Today is Friday. Friday. Let's get it going. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Let's talk about this today. The father must have a legacy. What is the father's legacy? We're gonna talk about it today. Let's get it going. Let's get it cracking like I have to get the music, get it going, get it. That beat the drop just right. Let's go. You know, gotta have that beat drop just right. But this is Lawrence D. Adams. We're live right now. I can see you. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. So today we're talking about the fathers. All week we've been marching up to Father's Day. Father's Day. And I think one of the biggest things that we have seen in this past years, I say it about 10 years plus, we've seen a whole lot of women who want to say, you got to wish me happy Father's Day on Father's Day. Let me say that again. We have a lot of mothers who say, I'm the mother and the father, and they want to get accolades on Father's Day. As you can see on this channel, we do not condone that. We don't think it's right. We think it's the most asinine thing that you can ever do is for a mother to say happy Father's Day to me. It would be just as crazy as a man to say, for a man to say on Mother's Day, get the child to say, good, happy Father's Day, happy Mother's Day to me. We have lost our positioning so far in this, not just here in America, but abroad, that we forget that the position of the man and the position of the woman that we think is okay, and we're condoning it, and nobody wants to speak up and say, hey, it's not right for you to say happy Father's Day and you know you're a mother. How much more do you want? But we want to make sure we cover that. We want to talk about how important fathers are we talked about this week, how important fathers are in the children's life. Who suffers when the mother don't allow the father to see his child? Is it a way to try to get back at the father because the mother didn't want the father to see because she wanted to get at him, and he knew it would hurt his heart. And we talked about when men say, you know what, I had enough. I am not about to deal with you in your games and the government and the child support. I just give you child support and that's it. Covered that this week. We talk about the importance of realizing that the father is not always a biological father. It could be a father in many aspects of your life. He could be your spiritual father. It could be your coach. He could have been any man that had a positive. Let me say that again. Could have been any man who served to mentor and to bring you up from where you were to the next level. So we always think about fathers that are just in a sense of him being your biological father. What's going on, Blackjack? Being your biological father, but a father could be a man who's taking time out for you to actually pour into your life and actually so that you can be a better man, or for the women who will listen, so you can be a better woman. So we talked about that this week. Then we also talk about this. This is very serious because most people don't want to talk about this. When there's a lack of the father, how some men take advantage of the children because their vulnerability, because they have a void there because of a father. So we talked about some men who became predators, and let's get it very clear. There are some women who became predators to children, knowing that they lacked the essence of a mother and father, and they took advantage of it. So we just don't want to say that the men were predators, because equally so, there are women who have been predators to children also. We'll be talking about fathers this week. So I don't want nobody to think that I'm leaving them out, because there's been many cases. If we think about the most coldest pimp that we can think about out there, which is Iceberg Slim, who wrote the book back in the 60s, you realize that he was molested by who? The lady who was taking care of him, not his mother. His mother's out there trying to get some work done, get things done. He was molested by his what? The lady who was taking care of him. So we got to think about that. And we don't even know where Iceberg Slim's father was. So don't y'all come here, yeah, these men are predators. No, because some of y'all women are just as devilish and just as wrong as these men. Just so y'all know a little history for men to pour into a woman and give a right. There were 4 men that poured into me and gave me tribes to belong to. See, and that's right there. That's the key right there. So I want to make sure we understand that. Y'all know about everybody like Iceberg Slim, but you didn't know that part of him. These tribes have contributed so much to my unbreakable success. Right. So you got to understand, when you think it's just your father who needs to pour in you, no, it needs to be more than just your father. It can be other men who have shaped you, like Blackjack said, who poured him into what? Different tribes so that he can breathe to be the success that he is. Let's get this clear right now. No man, let me take these sunglasses off. No man is an island unto himself. Let me say that again. No man is an island unto himself. If he can think he can do it by himself, he would have did it already. But no man, every man, because this is the man's channel that women come along. The women are here, but no man can ever get to where he needs to be in life without the help of other men. But actually, if we look at it, your success can be measured about what men say about you, the men that you deal with, and the men that you have to let go. Let me say that again. Your success can be tracked to the people, through the men, because I'm talking to men, to the men that you had to let go, to the men who says, you know, I vouch for him, and then the men who have pushed you to the next level. And a lot of times, a lot of men don't have that in their lives. We're going to talk about the father's legacy. I'm working my way up there. But we need to realize what man vouches for you. What man vouches for you? What man says, you know what? I know him and I know his character. He's a good man. Your father's the foundation setter for the tribe he introduced you to, and he will guide you through the dealings and with the dealings that you are dealing with that tribe. Correct. Let me say that again. What man vouches for you? What man said, he got my step of approval? I gave the example early this week, and I give it again. When Jesus got baptized by John the Baptist, you can believe it or not, I'm not here to convince you. I'm here to give you the story. I'm here to tell you the glory. He got baptized. When he came up, a dove went up in the air, and God said from the heavens, this is my son and who I am well pleased. Who's vouching for you? So look what's going on, Michael Joseph. What man is vouching for you? Some of y'all are so introverts and so what's going on, fear? So many of you guys are just into your own self that you have no one who can vouch for you. Who can say, you know what? He's good. I got him. Do you know how many times I've gone to different places and the men that I knew because I'm in good standing with got vouch for me and I got in, or I got to certain areas that I couldn't get in? What man is vouching for you? I know y'all want the women to vouch for you, but I'm talking about what man is vouching for you. See, we got to talk about this. This all goes into what we're going to talk about, the father's legacy. Actually, in some circles and some tribes and certain organizations, you can't even get into the organization unless someone nominates you. Let me say that again. You cannot get into some circles, certain organizations, certain clubs, certain groups, if another man does not vouch for you. If we think of a particular organization, they have to write a letter. They have to get a letter of saying, I vouch for Joe Blow, the Cold, Joe. They vouch for you. Let me say that again. What man is vouching for you? I'm not talking about online. Because y'all, too many of y'all need to get offline and get into the real world. Get out into the real world. See, thank you. Most fraternal orders are that way. Right. Who's speaking on your behalf that you can say, hey, you know what? This is a good man. I sign off on him. Do you know that I got many jobs because another man spoke up for me? The same thing goes. We're leading up to the Father's legacy. But what man has really vouched for you? See, everybody can talk slick and be gangster keyboardists and say all this stuff. But what man can really speak up for you and say, yo, this is a good man? Now let's pull the covers back a little bit more. Many times people will vouch for you because of your father or the men that you have been around. Do you know how many times I have gotten to good things because people knew my dad? You can see in the picture, that's my dad in the picture of my two sons. Because of my dad? Oh, you overseer Adam's son. Cool. All right. So I stand on the words, and the character of my father. See, we on this internet, people get so cuckoo and out their mind. They forget that this is more than just being on here talking and saying talking points. It's a real world. But I stand on the what? I stand on the shoulders of my father. Telling you. Happens for me in the union plenty of times based on my character. And that's what the father's figure developed. Correct. Y'all got to get this. And it ain't, trust me. When you realize this, you build up. See, this is the thing. I'm going to tell you, let me cut to the chase. A lot of guys on YouTubians and Facebookians and Instagramians and TikTokins and all them, they do not have a foundation of no one who is speaking up for them or spoken for them. They have no men. Now, granted, I understand some men didn't have a father. I understand you didn't have a father, but you had some kind of man, some kind of influence around, masculine influence around you from a man. You have a choice. So that's where we need to start. Even if it's a spiritual, could have been an imam, it could have been a pastor, could have been a bishop, overseer, it could have been a prophet, it could have been anybody. Who was that man that has spoken for you? Thank God for my father for speaking up for me. My father's no longer here. But as Tan said, I stand on the shoulders of what? I'm standing on what? The shoulders of my father, of his legacy, of his word. Y'all got to get this. The fathers must have a legacy. So I don't want you to think that it's always biological. Because I stand on the legacy of who? John Henry Clark, because I quote him all the time. I debate with my equals and all others I teach. Stand on the legacy of Martin, Malcolm, name them all. I stand on the legacy of what they have done. So my question or my thought to you as a man and as women who are listening, as we march to Sunday, what will you stand on? Who will look at you as a father and say, I stand on your legacy? Would they say, oh, you're just a good guy that was on the internet? Will you say you post funny things on Facebook, funny memes? What will be your legacy? Because on some level, you are being a father to someone, knowingly and unknowingly, because people are always watching your words and your character. See, most guys get caught up with a bed. I ain't got no kids. I'm good, man. I ain't gonna never have no kids. But you still leaving a what? A legacy of who knows you were gonna be here. A father leaves a legacy. He leaves not just only money. He leaves his character. He leaves his word. He leaves his thoughts. He leaves his provision. Protection. He leaves a legacy. What legacy are you going to leave? Biologically or no biological father? What would they say? What would the women say about you for real? What would the men say about you? What is your legacy? See, everybody got good. Everybody want to talk slick and all like that, you know. Yo, man, I'm about that. You ain't about nothing, and nobody knew you were here. A father leaves a legacy. He leave a legacy for not for this generation, for the next generation on. It was a quote I heard yesterday. John said of, I think it was the Father Kennedy said, my name will go on for 100 years. 100 years. So when Ted Kennedy passed on, the legacy still went on. See, most of y'all are short-sighted because you're only thinking about, well, these girls ain't nothing. These women ain't nothing. I ain't dealing with these kind of women. You think about that you want your name to be carried on for 100 years? They should know that you were here. They should know that you were in the earth. What would be your legacy? How would your daughters, how would your sons, how would your cousins, your people that you influence, how would they really say about you? What would be your legacy? Legacy is not just when the person dies. Legacy, it starts right now. What would be your legacy? Is it jacked up? Have you really stepped up to I'm talking to the men, step into your masculinity as a man? Are you just going with the flow? Are you an internet bandit? What will be your legacy? See, most people don't want to talk about this because they want to hear it now. They're too focused on what they can get right now instead of what they can leave for later. It's always because somebody deposits something in the past so you can enjoy your future. Somebody deposits something in the past so that you can enjoy your future. What will be your legacy? The father always leaves a legacy. He does not bankrupt his children or the people around him. He leaves them for a better situation because that's what a father does. What would be the father's? What is your legacy? When I think about it, we have a lot of men who are so self-absorbed, who don't want to leave a legacy. We have a lot of men, biological fathers and fathers who are not biological, who have not left anything in the earth but turmoil, hate, situations that are unresolved because they left nothing in the earth but mess. Don't allow that to be you. It's amazing, man. I kid you not. When I look at what was poured in me from all the multiple men who were poured inside of me, from pastors, bishops, prophets, teachers, all kind of people, my father, my uncles, everyone who poured inside of me, you're looking at a combination of that built inside of me. Like Blackjack said, it was 4 men that poured inside him to push him in certain tribes. It should be the same with you. What we don't have now is the ability for men to have a legacy. Think about it. Your legacy is your book that's written for the future. Your legacy is what people read about you in the future. What you do today is a manuscript of what people will read later on from generations in the future. What would they say in 2050? Yo, man, this person was here. He was this and that. People don't get that. People don't understand that. Blackjack has something. This era doesn't understand the joy of watching people come full circle on their own terms regarding situations you discuss with them. The future holds a lot of truth, right and wrong, to be discovered. Correct. The problem is we're so focused on what these women ain't doing and what they should be doing that we're not thinking about building our legacy. Yeah, let's be very clear. That has been the narrative, and what this one ain't doing, what Carly B ain't doing, what Megan Thee Stallion, we were so focused on what the women ain't doing. Baby, I don't got time for that. I got to build my legacy. Either you with it or you ain't. That's the kind of resolve you need to have. Baby, either you with it or you ain't. Stop wasting your time on people that don't contribute to your legacy and you don't contribute to theirs. Stop wasting your time with people who are not going the same direction that you need to go in. Your legacy is, see, most people don't take it don't think about it until it's too late. But your legacy is vitally important. What you are doing, and this is the other thing, it's not so much what you're doing in the public eye, it's what you're doing behind the closed doors. See, most people think, oh, it's just about what I do in the public eye. No, 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 no. It's what you're doing behind closed doors that nobody sees. That's your legacy too. The thoughts that you entertain and lay with, that's your legacy too. Thank you so much, brother. And Carly B and Megan is not who you want. So why are you bothered with them? I tell you, these guys they can miss you with that. But I want to make sure the father must have a legacy. If you are a father, it is imperative that you have a legacy. If you're not even a biological father, it is important that you have a legacy. I'm telling you, once you realize that, it will change it will change how you move. That's why I make so people are clear. That's why I post what I post on my Instagram and Facebook. Because I know my sons. They hear what I'm saying, but they hear what speaks louder is what I do. So my sons can hear what I'm saying, but what speaks even louder is what dad do. What is dad really? He can say one thing, but is he really living this thing? That's what makes a difference. Let me read this. Integrity is what you do behind closed doors. That's right. A lot of men are worried about the women aren't doing yet, avoiding looking at what they themselves aren't doing. There's always room for improvement. Correct. So that's the reason why. So you see me post things, I'm over here doing that. It is because I know my sons. They're looking at dad. What are you really doing? You say one thing, but you're doing another. I remember one time, I moved back to Cleveland and I didn't change that I wasn't in New York anymore. And my oldest son said, Dad, he said, I'm looking at your Facebook. It's cool and everything, but you're saying that you're in New York and you're not. I had to laugh because my son done bust me out. I'm like, oh, man, you're right. I wanted everybody to think I was in New York where I was in Cleveland. And my son said, you know what? That's a lie. That's pretty much what he was saying. That's a lie, Dad. You know you are in Cleveland and you live here. You're not in New York anymore. So what I had to do in front of him was go and adjust where I lived at and say I'm in Cleveland. Because at the end of the day, was that lie worth it? So people didn't know where I live? Or was it even better that I told the truth in front of my son so he knows that this is how you do it? You know, and I had to really, really grab a hold of that. Chan, don't forget how they are overlooking the good women because they are trying to change the loud. They're trying to change the loud ones. So I want you to realize that the father must leave a legacy. And don't allow your legacy to be littered with trash, unresolved issues, things you need to go to a therapist about. Men, I'm telling you, don't allow your legacy to be caught like that. It's amazing how many times we as men don't catch on to things until it's too late. So I'm here to tell you that it's important for fathers. You must have a legacy. You must have a legacy. You must have something that says that you were here. And when I think about this, I think about my dad. And I talked about him yesterday and his legacy. His legacy to always be a man that's always learning something. always studying, mastering his particular craft. His two crafts that he loved to bake and he loved studying about psychology and the Bible. He would take time and break things down. So that taught me the importance of what? Learning to go all in with your craft. Go all in your craft, whatever that is. I watched my dad buy books after books, go to the library, write down notes on recipes, how to put those recipes together, take a little bit of that and take a little bit of this and make his own recipe. He knew he studied that. I think YouTube was just coming out, but he would go to the library and get VHS tapes and learn. Well, okay, let me find out, how do I break this down? Why? Because he wanted to be a master at his particular craft, whether it was the Bible or whether it was baking. His legacy is what I stand on. Did everybody like it? No. Was it popular? No. But he knew that if I wanted to be the best at what I wanted to do, as far as with the Bible and understanding the Bible and understanding psychology and understanding religion, he had to study, he had to pay a price. Your legacy will always cost you something. Fear so definitely. You know this for sure. Your legacy will always cost you something. It is not going to be pleasurable all the time. Your legacy will cost you something. It will cost you something. There will be a price for your legacy. You know why there's a price for the legacy? Because the harvest from your legacy is going to be larger than what you can ever think or imagine. And right now, I hear you, brother. You saying, well, you know what? I had no dad. What do I do? Where do I go? Who do I turn to? Where's my real? I didn't have that in my life. All who was there was my mama, my aunties, my girl cousins, and a couple boy cousins. What do I do? You could be at any age. Where can I make a difference? Why do you say that the fathers must have a legacy? Because even though you were in a deficit, you don't have to stay in a deficit. You can always make a choice to say there is better. Even though you're in a deficit, it does not mean that you have to stay in a deficit. There can always be a place where you can grow and leave something in this earth. It's the same thing for those who had a father, but he was absent while being present. You still have a legacy. You still have a responsibility. And I'm talking to the men, as a man, to leave a legacy that you were here. You still have a responsibility. And most people neglect that on the back of pleasure. So to all the fathers who are coming up this weekend, let me be the first one to say Happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day to all the men. To all the men who were there for their children, all the men who couldn't be there for their children, all the men who are paying child support, those who need help paying the child support. Let me just say Happy Father's Day to you. Let me give you your flowers right now. Let me give you your kudos right now. Let me give you your ups right now. Happy Father's Day to all the men. Not some of them, but all of them. I understand that you're not perfect. I understand the situation may not be perfect, but happy Father's Day to all the men. Happy Father's Day to you, because we miss that, just saying that to another man. Man, happy Father's Day. Do you know how important that is for a man to hear that? And for him to be able to have a legacy that he leaves on. Hey, I'm not going to even go on that long. I'm going to cut it short today. Short today. Because it's hot and I think I'm going to go to the beach. I'm about to live my legacy. I'm about to live my best life. But shout out to everyone who's been listening. I'm going to drop some more videos. I'm probably going to drop some videos. Check me on Instagram, YouTube. This is Lawrence D. Adams. Yes, I am cutting this short because I am about to go. But please leave a legacy. Leave a legacy. I'm telling you, because the next generation is dependent on you. Happy Father's Day to a great man, Elder Day, and other men in the chat room. Yes, appreciate that. Happy Father's Day to you, LDA, and the dads in the chat room. Thank you. Short and to the point. Appreciate it. Thank you. Happy Father's Day to all you brothers, everybody that's here. Those who are biological, not biological. Stepdads, I hate the word stepdad, but those, happy Father's Day. Say happy Father's Day to all the fathers regardless. Yep. Thank you. Appreciate it. It's good. Appreciate you, brothers. Because it's just a few, we out. I'm about to go. Let me get this music pumping. I'm about to get out of here. Watch. Soon as I leave, everybody don't want to come. Everybody don't want to come in when I want to go. When it's time to go. LDA is out of here. Let's go. Hey. Soon as I go, now you want it. LDA is gotta. Soon as I go, what's going on, Alpha Kingdom? Hey, get the, gotta go. Soon as I'm about to leave, everybody shows up. Gotta go. Gotta go wash that car. LDA's gotta go. What happened to the trap music? You don't tell me to stop. Oh, no, I'm gonna rewind it. What? Let's get it good. We gotta go. LDA gotta go. I gotta get out of here. Y'all just want to see me dance. I'm out of here. I got some more dance videos coming. Peace and beer grease. Be out. Out of here. Oh, LDA out of here. Gotta go.